What's going on, Bucs fans? Back here for another episode of the Parlay podcast here on the Sick Podcast Network. I'm your host, JC Allen. We got a lot to get into. Injuries, they keep piling up for the Buccaneers. Are they playing at 4 o'clock? Are they playing at a different time? What's going on with that Seattle Seahawks Bucs game? We talked to Todd Bowles and Baker Mayfield today. What do they have to say? And it's official. The first quarter of the season is over. So it's time to take a look back at that first quarter of the season. What went right? What went wrong? And where could they be going? Who could they be getting back potentially? Who are they losing? And how that's going to affect everything going forward. And we'll do it with a special guest right after the break.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to the Sick Podcast. Pirate Parlay.
Battle intercepted, picked off in the end zone. Bucs are going to beat the Chiefs. We're the champions of the world.
The sickest Tampa Bay Buccaneers podcast. It's going to be sick.
Welcome back to the other side to, again, the Pirate Parlay podcast here on the Sick Podcast Network. I'm your host, JC Allen. Do me a favor, like, subscribe, turn notifications. If you're watching on Twitter, come pop on YouTube or shoot your questions on YouTube or comments on YouTube or on Twitter. If you're on there, and everyone listening to podcast form, as always, appreciate you. Let's get right into it and get our guest in the building. You guys know him as the local capologist. He's the tape guy. He's over there grinding for the boys at Pewter Report. He's my good buddy, good friend of the show, Josh Queipo.
I think how you said good buddy. It was a nice throwback to Smokey and the Bandit.
Yeah, that's exactly where I was going with that. Boom. Idiot. How are you?
I mean, I was great until you called me an idiot.
You're just all over the place right now. How's everything going, man? Thanks for coming on.
I'm doing all right. I'm recovering from a back injury, which is why I'm in a hoodie on my couch. But other than that, I'm doing really well. Thank you.
The information comes through the same. It doesn't really matter, you know.
Yeah, there you go.
It doesn't matter the medium. We know we're going to get good stuff when you're on. So let's just jump right into it. Before we get into what I'm sure everyone's waiting to hear about, the injuries, I will leave them in suspense for a second. And I just want to get your thoughts on the first quarter of the season for the Buccaneers. They go into it 3-1. Of course, there's an extra game, so it doesn't break down like it used to. But 3-1 to start, and kind of not getting it done and getting it done all in the last minute. It seems like has been the trend.
Yeah, I think it's about as good as they could have hoped for, given the circumstances surrounding who they're putting out on the field, just with all these injuries. To be 3-1 and to really go toe to toe with the Super Bowl champs. And be 2 fluke plays out of that game, you got to think that the future looks bright if they can get healthy. That's really the key there. But as far as like the defense has been so good, and it has a chance to be special, which is like a huge upgrade over last year. And then the offense just hasn't quite completely gotten it going outside of the 2-minute stuff. But at the same time, with, again, a makeshift offensive line, Josh Grizzard, Baker Mayfield have been able to lead the squad to over 20 points in every one of their games. So I guess the Jets game, they technically didn't score 20 on offense, but pretty close there. So overall, I think given the external circumstances, if you're a Bucs fan, you should be really happy with where they're at this point. And the arrow is way up if they can just get healthy.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's disappointing because you saw on paper what it looked like coming in, and now injuries to start the season, they just continue to pile up. And it's a shame we're never going to get the full product of what it was, especially with Cody out for the season and now Coe out for the season, although he plays a big role for different reasons. You'll never get a full picture of what that offense could have been, but they've still been wildly successful to the point where I think when you look at what Bucky Irving's been able to do over the last 3 games, he's the only one in the NFL that's getting that many touches and that many carries, all-purpose yards. What is the impact? Because there's conflicting news right now with Bucky Irving. He's in a boot today with crutches. He could be cleared by Friday. If he's out of the boot, what is your whole take on the Bucky Irving situation?
I mean, if he can play, that's great, but I think it's going to be in a very limited fashion. I would just assume that he's going to be out for at least this game. And that's not a bad, like, I think that of all the games going forward, this would be the one you would kind of be okay with him missing, because the Seattle defensive front is scary. And you're going to need somebody who can help in the pass blocking. And so if it means more reps for Rachaad White and him being out there, being able to help protect Baker, plus Rashad's been playing really well. He's been running pretty well this year. You've got a huge opportunity to kind of let those backups. That's a deep room that can help make up for what you lose with Bucky to a certain extent.
Yeah. Has it been surprising to you the usage of Bucky so far throughout the season? Did you feel like there'd be more of a more balanced workload just because of the style of runner he is and the hits he does take, although he bounces off most of them, they can pile up?
No, not so much, because I think it only really got out of whack this past game, and I can double check that real quick. But I mean, if you go back to, was it the Jets game or maybe it was Houston? I can't remember which one. They used Rashad a bunch in that game. So I think that they're making it matchup dependent. I don't think Bucky can have that running back one work like a Derrick Henry or Saquon Barkley type of workload over an entire season. I just don't think that his body can handle it. He's just small.
Right.
Excuse me. So I'm not surprised by the workload overall. I think that this is where they were trending, because he is a special back, and they want to get the special out of him as much as they can.
Right. Right. Yeah. And it's a shame because he's such a focal part of their offense too. And the things that he can do, we saw it, just the creativity when things break down out of structure, and with this big 72-yard play, him and Baker just playing, catch at that point. And just his ability to make so many people miss. If they're going to be without him for an extended period of time, it definitely changes the way that they want to do things. And, you can, because of the formidability.
I didn't know you were going with the ability.
I'm going for the plural there. We know that their defensive front is formidable. We'll go with that.
There you go.
For the Seahawks. I had the word, I just couldn't get it out. So yeah, I mean, you knew you're going to probably need, your better pass blocking back in there. So I agree with you. You got Sean Tucker, and you also have a guy like Josh Williams who they're excited to see get some work. So if he needs to miss this game, I think you're in a good position. However, it's not just him that the Buccaneers are missing right now. The injuries are starting to pile up. Today was just a walkthrough, but the injury report just came out 5 minutes ago. So I figured let's run through it. Jamel Dean did not practice with a hip. Mike Evans did not practice. He's got that hamstring injury. Greg Gaines didn't practice with the pectoral. That's interesting because usually when we hear pectorals, you're done for the season. But for him to be, as a DNP and not on IR shows that it could be something he could return from. Bucky Irving with that foot. He's also listed with a shoulder injury as well, which is something that we didn't know about.
Till right now.
Coming to think, I was trying to think of could have been the hit that he took, or I don't know. He bounces off so many tacklers. It's hard to pinpoint where that could have came from. Christian Izzian's still out with a quad. Baker Mayfield, he's got the knee and the right bicep. Benjamin Morrison didn't practice with a hamstring. Benjamin Morrison was at one of the school events, Hillsborough County school events. He was kind of dancing with the kids on their social media stories. So hopefully that doesn't lend to like a long-term absence. If he was really like going to be sidelined for a while, I doubt he'd be out doing public appearances, even if it is for the kids. Sterling Shepard is one that popped up, and that's a new one. Foot injury, didn't practice. And Tyke Smith with an ankle didn't practice as well. Out of all those names, I mean, at this point, it's like, who are you most concerned about? Because there's a lot of those names that you should be concerned about.
I apologize. I've just suddenly developed the hiccups. I apologize. So I think, Mayfield now with the knee and the right biceps, that's one to monitor. Although he did he did a press conference today and didn't seem like it was an issue. The ones that are a little concerning is you got Dean, you've got Izzian, you've got Morrison, and you've got Tyke, all four of them together.
Yes.
That is concerning because you have to put somebody out there in the secondary.
Right.
And last year, the Bucs tried that with Josh Hayes and Tyreek Funderburk, and they saw how well that went for them. So I think Tyke's kind of the linchpin there because if he can go, the Seahawks run 12 personnel, I think the highest rate in the league. So you could kick Jacob Parrish to outside corner on base sets, which would be most of the sets they're going to run against 12 personnel. And then Tyke can play up top. And then if they have to go to nickel, you have either one of those guys who could drop into the nickel spot. This is going to be a terrible episode for your viewers.
I think everyone's really laughing and enjoying it right now. And you got Kayvon Merriweather that can come in.
Yeah.
Too.
You can go one of two ways. You can put Tyke down in the slot and let Merriweather come in as the safety, or you could put Parrish over to the slot and let Kendall Vildor. Yep.
Or elevate Bryce Hall too. You have him on the practice squad.
So you got a couple options there.
Yeah.
They might be catching Seattle at the right time, just given these secondary injuries because of their 12 personnel usage. This is going to drive me insane. You're going to love it.
Get some water and sip some water.
I'm not moving.
This is even better. Also, again, this was just a walkthrough, so this is just the practice report is an estimation. Levante David with a knee injury was limited. These will be limited. Levante David, Logan Hall, Hassan Reddick, and Tristan Wirfs. David's with a knee. Hall still got that groin. Reddick with a neck. He got the stinger, being checked for a concussion. There was a report that said he's fine. That he plans on playing against the Seahawks. A limited, designation on a Wednesday. Seems like it could trend towards the right way. Tristan Wirfs obviously with that knee injury. And then full participants. This is, I think, the best sign. Chris Godwin, full participant. If it was a full practice, he'd be a full participant on Wednesday, coming off his first game. And to me, early. I think this is like 2 weeks early from when I thought he was going to come back. I thought there'd be a chance this week against the Seahawks. That cross-country trip, I'm like, I don't know if they're going to. Just week 6 is better. But full participation, that's good. Charlie Heck with a knee, full participation. And Zion McCollum, another secondary. He's dealing with a thumb injury. He should be able to push through that. So none of those guys I think you're concerned about. I think all those guys are in a good position to play. Maybe Hassan Reddick is the one you question the most out of there, just because stingers can be interesting.
Yeah, I think he was listed as limited, right?
Limited with a neck, yeah.
Yeah, I think he'll be fine.
Yeah, me too. On the Seattle side, though, Josh Jones, their tackle, he didn't practice with and they had a full practice. Didn't practice with an ankle injury. DeMarcus Lawrence didn't practice with a quad injury. Julian Love, their starting safety, didn't practice with a hamstring. Devon Witherspoon, their tremendous young cornerback, didn't practice with a knee injury. Nick Manawari and Cody White, two rookies. One's Manawari is a safety, White's a wide receiver. Both full participants. So what are you looking at there? That's quite troublesome in their secondary, don't you think?
I mean, Witherspoon is, yeah, it could be with Witherspoon and Love. It means they would have to actually pretend like they like Reek Woolen, which they don't seem to like him at all, which is funny to me. So I tend to not get too up in arms about Wednesday injury reports. It's the Friday one that matters. Yeah. So I'll clock it at that point.
Yeah, clock it. Jeez. we got a comment just for you over here. KJH for life says, "What's up, fellas? What grade would Josh Queipo give Grizzard at this point in time?"
Yeah, an A. What he's had to overcome with the offensive line issues, not having Mike or this past week. I've really liked almost everything he's done. I think he's got a great feel for the game. I think he finds the best stuff. He's shown an ability to game plan for both his opponent as well as the personnel he's got. A couple of examples of that. The Bucs were using a ton of gap runs in weeks 1 and 2, over 80%, which is what they do best. But then as they lose more players, as they lost Michael Jordan after week 2 and had to go to week 3, you saw them run simpler concepts for newer guys, Klein and Haggard. So he's adjusting to his personnel there. And then in terms of adjusting to the opponents, you could see, again, I'll use the week 1 and 2 kind of dichotomy there. Is 1 week he was using a lot of play action. The next week he was using more screens. So depending on the defense that he's going up against, I think him and Baker have done an absolutely hell of a job together piecemealing this offense around everything else. Oh my gosh. We better only an hour.
I concur with you on that statement. No, I think he's done a great job. You can see the in-game adjustments happening and the way things flow. It never seems like anything's forced. I mean, we both live tweet the game a lot of the time. I'm not sure if you do anymore, but we did. Have you said another first down run this year? Another first down run, another unsuccessful first down run, another first down run for 2 yards.
No. He does a pretty good job of diversifying his first down calls. Yep.
Yes, I think he does a great job at that. I think once he gets personnel back, we'll see a lot more movement and some more window dressing and stuff like that. When I think he's got his full, close to his full complement of weapons too. I think this is just the tip of the iceberg. And again, having to adapt. Again, he got the job and he's preparing for it for XYZ. He's not sure if they're going to have Chris Godwin back or anything like that. And then they get Chris Godwin back. Great. Wonderful. And now he's preparing for Chris Godwin offense. Then they go out and they're like, hey, guess what? We just got you Emeka Egbuka. So now he's got to take his game plan that he's trying to figure out, or just kind of the basis of that's written down in his mind, and he's got to rip that up. And then it's like, oh, shit. Chris had to have surgery. He's not going to be ready for week 1 like we thought. Oh, crap. Tristan needs surgery. He's not going to be ready. And every time, I'm sure he's getting close to kind of even if it's just fantasizing it's something's ripped away and taken away from him. And it all started happening after 2 things were added for him, which was Chris Godwin back and Emeka Egbuka. And he had to been salivating at that point. And now he's down to bare bones wide receiving core, or, a rusty Chris Godwin coming back. Now, you've got Sterling Shepard popping up on the injury report, who's been excellent so far this season. And he's losing linemen left and right, and now Bucky might miss some time. So for everything he's had to go through and adapt to and overcome, I would say he's doing a heck of a job. Heck of a job.
A Charlie heck of a job? That's pretty low bar.
No, a heck, not a Charlie heck. I've said this before, and I think this is why the Bucs wouldn't let me have him on the podcast. I'm just going to say, if he keeps it up, he's going to be a name to watch this upcoming year. Don't think he won't be. And the Bucs could be back in this situation. I can't remember a time where a team lost to head coaching jobs 3 years in a row. But it could happen if he continues doing what he's doing. Let's move on to some of this offensive talk over here. Because Emeka Egbuka, I haven't gotten your thoughts on him. We talked about it. We glowed about him. But to see it play out the way it's played out, just even you couldn't have thought he would come out the gate swinging this good. And you were one of the people who were the highest on him in this draft class.
No, I did think he could come out this hot because I've been on record on this. I said when I saw him in training camp, he's going to be a future Hall of Famer. So
I didn't see that
prize or that praise. So yeah, no, he's been fantastic. But there's still room to grow. And these next couple of weeks will be really interesting for 2 reasons. Number one, he's actually been somewhat disappointing in terms of his ability to catch the ball. This is a guy who was known for his contested catch ability and his ability to just have secure hands. And so, given that, it's a little disappointing, to be completely honest with you, that his catch rate on the season is only 58%. And compare that to his college career, where he was at last season and at Ohio State, he had a catch rate of 76.4%. And then the grimy catches are some of the things that just impressed the heck out of me. For his career in college, he caught 54% of his contested catches. And then this year, I think he's at around 25%. So those are areas where I would expect growth,
Right.
and something that the offense could certainly use to help keep them on time and ahead of the sticks. Now, with that said, the deep stuff is extremely impressive, more impressive than I gave him credit for coming out of college.
Mm-hmm.
That's been really cool to watch, is just what he's doing at 20 plus air yards. And I'm just trying to pull that to give your viewers and listeners 5 of 10. He's caught 5 of 10 of his deep targets, which is incredible, for 190 yards and 3 of his 4 touchdowns. The second interesting part as we go forward is last week, the Bucs made a concerted effort to basically put him in the Mike Evans role. He's the X in Evans's absence. And while they boasted that he can play all 3 positions, and he can to a certain degree, he's nowhere near what Mike can be as an X. However, the game plan featured him heavily in that specific role, oftentimes as the single side on 3x1s. And then Baker wanted to trust it like he did Evans and wanted to go to him in those one-on-one matchups. But against Quinyon Mitchell, he lost the battle more often than he wanted, which
Domino Bay.
So, my goodness. So those are the 2 things that I'm going to be looking for going forward. But his early success doesn't surprise me in the least. It's really nice to see, and it's nice that he's giving the Bucs that vertical element that the offense was frankly missing last year. And part of the reason why Baker's target rate of 20 plus air yards is twice as high as it was last year.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. I think I was something that surprised me. I didn't really have him as that deep threat type of take the top off guy, but he's been just that. I mean, his touchdowns have been 30 yards, 25 yards, 77 yards. Like, he's been able to do it. And it's not even the plays where he's making the catches. There's also the plays that you watch where he's taking the coverage down the field too and opening things up for other people. So it's been really impressive, because I thought he was just going to be more of like a short to intermediate king, and just be that guy who just racks up tons of catches working that area. But he's been able to add that element to it. Before we get onto the defensive side, because like the Bucs and their rookie on offense, Emeka Egbuka, they have a rookie on defense who is lighting it up. Your partner in crime, one of my good friends and mentors, John Ledyard, thinks, I saw praise from him on Twitter. He thinks he's the defensive rookie of the year. He's got the offense and defensive rookie on the year for the Bucs. And although it might seem a little biased, if anyone knows John, he does not care. He will put down anybody if they're not playing up to standards. Listen to the way he speaks about his own team, the Steelers. That's all you need to know. Go back, or the Suns for that matter. But before we jump into that, because I want to get your thoughts on him, because I know you got some really cool stats you put out there too. So if you guys didn't see those, I'm going to make him spit them out. But Huel, our brand partner over here, we're super excited to launch this with Huel. Again, it's they've got so many different varieties to help you feel your best and get to your best performance, best fitness, whatever your goal is. It makes healthy eating simple. That's pretty much what it is. So you can go to Huel.com/sickbucks. You can try it with a 15% off code for new customers using code SickBucks over at that website. Again, there's a little survey at the end. You can just support the show, fill out the post checkout survey, help the show. I've got one of the bottles right here. It is the iced coffee. So this is a meal replacement. It's 35 grams of protein, 6 grams of fiber, non-GMO, plant-based, and it's a nutritionally ready to drink meal. Just shake it and drink it. It's got everything you need: vitamins, the minerals, carbs in the good ways, omega-3 and 6, slow release carbs, all 27 essential vitamins and minerals. I've been drinking them before game days, and I haven't needed anything until after the game. Game days usually start for me around 7. I don't get to have lunch until 2, and I don't have any hunger. It powers me through. So definitely check it out. Go to Huel.com/sickbucks. The defender who I'm talking about, do you already know who I'm talking about? If you do, name him.
Jacob Parrish.
Jacob Parrish. Jacob Parrish. 3rd round pick of the Buccaneers. 3rd round pick in my mock draft, final mock draft. I'll let you guys know that. I was in on this boy, and he has been lighting it up, whether it's tackle for losses, tackles, just being in the right spot, using him on blitz. Listen, he got a sack against what's his name? Tyrod Taylor. How do you say it? How did Baker say it? Tyrod? Whatever.
Tyrod. Well, without the hiccup, he said it was.
Yes. So, I mean, he's just been absolute beast. Talk to me about what you've seen about this kid, and can he keep it up is the question, because we saw similar outcoming the last 3 years at nickel, Josh, with Ty Keith-Smith, and then injuries, and he kind of fell off a little bit towards the end of the season. And then Christian Izien came out with a bang, and then he fell off towards the end of the season. Can Jacob Parrish sustain it in this defense?
Yeah, I'll get into that, but real quick, you got Twitter around you real quick? Can you pull up Twitter? You wanted me to bring some fancy stats. I just tweeted it. I want you to read it off just for your viewers.
Okay. All right. Let me get to it. Got too many ads up. Too many pops up. I gotta find Mr. Queipo. This is great television right here.
Great television. Well, it's suspense.
It's suspense. We are building suspense, just like we did with the defensive player. I am also working off a 2015.
Well, while you look for it,
pro, I got it. We're on here today. Proud dad and husband, cap analyst for Pewter Report. We got you. Jacob Parrish is currently tied for 11th overall among rookies in pressures. Think about that. Yeah, that's a wild stat.
He's a defensive back. He's tied for 11th in pressures.
That's a wild stat. I'm not even gonna lie.
Isn't that pretty cool? So he's been phenomenal. So I think he's been the true unlock for Bowles being able to do a lot more of the man coverage stuff. Because if you look at the nickels that Bowles had prior to this, none of them were really great in man themselves. Whereas nothing changed on the outside. You still have Dean, you still have Zion, and he's willing to go with them man this year. He wasn't willing to go man that much last year. What's the change? The change is the nickel. And you've got a true cover nickel in Parrish. He is physical, even though he lacks stature. He will absorb in the run game. He will take on pullers. He will fire off gaps. The way he blows up screens in the backfield is poetry in motion. And then in coverage, he's just got such a great feel for where he needs to be. He's always finding a way to cut off lanes. There was a play in the Atlanta game, so week 1, where he's out in the flat and he's basically got to cover 2 guys. He's got Drake London breaking deeper than he is, but breaking to the outside, and then he's got to cover a flat as well. And he perfectly plays Michael Penix and forces Penix to declare where he's going to throw the ball. And then he closes on London and breaks up the pass. He's been absolutely fantastic. He is one of 6 players in the secondary playing out of their minds right now. 5 players playing out of their minds, and Zion's playing well, although he's coming off his best coverage game. These guys are on a different level, several levels higher than they were last year. So I couldn't say enough about him. He was a phenomenal pick.
Someone that I spoke with that coached Jacob Parrish, he also coached for a little bit Fred Warner, and said that the way he goes about his business reminded him a lot of Fred Warner, and he wouldn't be surprised if he was, thought of highly at his position one day after being in the league for a few years. It's just small little praise there. Obviously a different position, but the caliber of player that he thinks Parrish can be. And
That's
to get in
amazing.
the third round is pretty spot on. But there's a second round pick that was balling out too. Before he went down with a hamstring injury coming in for Dean, who has been balling out too. Of course, now he's injured. His tail is old as time, but the Dean has been excellent this season. And I think Benjamin Morrison stepped in and was pretty damn good.
Yeah, I mean, he matched up against AJ Brown on quite a few reps, forced a couple of incompletions. I really only think there was one time where Brown got the best of him, and it was more the ground. Morrison slipped a little bit on a banana route towards the sideline, and Hurts just didn't put a good ball that was remotely catchable. But Morrison's been clicking and closing on stuff in front of him, just playing with a lot of confidence and intentionality. And he seems to understand the defense really well. Been super sticky in coverage. The one catch I think he allowed to AJ Brown, he was right there. It's on a slant where Brown had leverage right off the snap. But Morrison was right there to make Brown earn the catch. He looked fantastic. Dean went down and the defense didn't miss a step. And that was because Morrison was there. So it looks like this draft class is going to be a hit because you got them. We talked about Ibuka. You got Elijah Roberts, who has really shown a high learning curve because he was transitioning from playing edge in college to interior. He was never really asked to fit the run. Now he's being asked to fit the run at the highest level possible in a Todd Bowles defense. And his hands are so strong and so blurry, and he can use them independently of what his lower half is doing, which makes him extremely difficult for offensive linemen to handle. So that's a really solid draft class right through there. Obviously, David Walker out for the season with an ACL in training camp. And then J.J. Roberts looked phenomenal in preseason. These are all guys who count towards that rookie class, right? Tez Johnson's gotten a couple of manufactured touches and looked nice in those. And then one who wasn't a part of their original undrafted free agent crop, one they plucked off a practice squad 2 weeks ago. And
Simmons.
Oh my gosh, he's moved in and just moved people.
Yeah, he's a big boy.
Bulldozed Cam Jurgens and he bulldozed Landon Dickerson on separate routes.
Tackle for a loss.
Oh, the tackle for a loss was beautiful. I mean, slipped right in, bullied his way through Jurgens.
Slipped it.
Throws the fullback motioning back out of his way and then just clothesline. I'm not a wrestling dude, but I'm pretty sure you would see that move in the rings of WWE. Just clothesline Barkley.
That's great.
That is you can't even say a home run of a draft class. That is a grand slam of a draft class.
They got Sebastian Castro, who they just picked up too. The safety from Iowa. It's another Iowa safety. They tend to have good luck with these Iowa kids.
I mean, Tristan was a good one, but I haven't scouted at Castro, but from people I know and trust, they say he's such a Bowles guy, probably somebody that they're going to be able to make something out of. So, but to get this many high quality snaps from your rookie class, it's not common, and it shouldn't be overlooked.
Yeah, no, they've done a great job. Before we get it started, give me a couple thoughts on this game against Seattle. It's early in the week. We don't know who's playing, so I'm not going to ask you for a score prediction or anything crazy like that. But just what's your general feeling around this game? If you guys watch the pod, you guys know how I feel. To me, this is a loss for them, and that was before everything coming in. I've got them losing the next two games. But where are you at with this game? Because I know you're really high on the Bucs this season too. I think we're the only two with published Super Bowl predictions.
Yeah.
So,
I think you just lost all your viewers by saying, I think this is a loss, but maybe you got some diehards who will stick with you to yell at you.
Killed them all.
So it's going to be a tough matchup. The one that I'm going to be so excited to watch is the Bucs defense against Seattle's offense. Seattle's offense has been very good this year, but it's been good for two reasons. They build a run game, they run play action off of it, they're highly efficient, and they work out of 12 personnel a lot. 12 personnel means the Bucs are in base. That's probably where they want to be more often than not right now because of the cornerback injuries.
Right.
They stop the run really well, and they've got corners who can play man coverage, which is more difficult to win on play action. So if you have all of that, it is your definition of a unstoppable force meeting an immovable object. And that's going to be fun to watch. So I'm excited to watch this weekend.
Yeah, I think that matchup's going to be really good. The one that makes me nervous is the Bucs offense against
Seattle's very,
defense. Yes.
very good defense. Yeah.
Yes. And they have a great defense. They have a great head coach who was the Ravens defensive coordinator. So expect to see a lot of those types of sort of wrinkles and things that he likes to do. So it's going to be great. Josh, appreciate you for coming in here, breaking it down for a little bit. Appreciate everyone in the comments. I see y'all, Christopher Cole, Supply and Demand, Lou Hayes, the Seahawks fan, coming in with some good vibes. I love that. We appreciate that.
Good,
Richard, I see you.
Good vibrations.
Hey, a couple good vibrations, a little sweet sensations, and boom, you're having a baby. Fun fact, Mark Wahlberg did my gender reveal for my daughter. We ran into him outside of a restaurant. I know you did. They probably didn't, though, but that was my caption when I posted it. Hey, boom, you're having a baby. What can I say? All right, guys, go ahead and promote yourself. Where can they find you? What do you got going on? I know you got a litany of stuff. You're everywhere.
Yeah, for Bucs fans, it's really just Pewter Report. Try and get a couple articles out looking at kind of bigger picture stuff based off of what I'm seeing on the tape. So the one that I think came out yesterday, I went in a bit of a deep dive into the Bucs front pass rush as well as the secondary and how the defense has an opportunity to be very special this year. Obviously, health has to be a part of that. But that's the one that I did most recently. And then I'm going to sit down tonight and probably write a little bit about how they can handle the corner position if Dean and Morrison are both no-goes. And then I'm going to try and get into a little bit on Elijah Simmons because that guy's balling.
Yeah, he's doing pretty damn good. It's going to be fun to watch his ascension, too. Tough news about Jason Johnson, the other big guy. But that's going to do it for us here at the Power Parlay Podcast on the SIG Podcast Network. For my man, Josh Queipo, I'm JC Allen. We're out of here. Peace.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the SIG Podcast Pirate Parlay on YouTube, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.